I feel like you hit the nail on the head there with what I think is the main blind spot of mainstream conservatism is, I mean, one it's still liberalism in a different package, but it's the idea that um, everyone's outcomes will be or can be equal if we have the so-called opportunity of no opportunity of equality.
Equality of opportunity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. So, I mean, one, that's not a very coherent concept. If you start digging into that, there's all sorts of differences from people, being born in different types of families. It's a very short road from equality of opportunity to effectively chasing equality of outcome, because the situation is in the world that we live in, people are very different, and people are different, across categories, across ages, across, different levels of ability, all sorts of relevant data points. And that's one thing that I feel like conservatism hasn't addressed, and I feel like it's been losing a lot because of that. Because to be honest, progressivism has a much better answer than conservatism to this problem, which is a consistent problem. Like you can run this iteration many, many times, and say, okay, we have equality of opportunity. I mean, do you? Because you don't have equality of outcome, and you consistently don't have equality of outcome in very predictable patterns. What gives? So
Yeah, I think that is a major problem because, like you said, there's only two responses to that. You give equality of opportunity and you don't get opportunity of outcome or equality of outcome, and there's only two possible responses. One is uh, the left wing version, which is, well, everyone is equal, so the only reason that you could possibly have different outcomes is that there's something in the system that's inherently broken. It's a systemically racist, sexist, whatever. And so that's what's producing that outcome, even though people start, increasingly you'll see, progressives willing to admit, like, sure, yeah, there's no like direct legal, difference. There's nothing in the law that limits people, that treats them unequally, but it's all out there. It's all cultural, it's all in the ether. It's outside of the law where we can draw the distinct lines. And this is what produces that. Or you have the more conservative version, which is like, well, of course you're going to have different outcomes because I put in different effort and you put in different effort. And what that does is then it creates a very, Christopher Lasch points out this, there creates a very callous version of elites who are only think they got through meritocracy. So they're even worse than your, blood aristocracies, because at least the blood aristocracy felt some level of obligation to the peasant because, well, they were born to that station, right? Like you had to understand, like you had to look out for them because they couldn't do anything differently. As where the purely meritocratic aristocracy just sees themselves as superior because they put in the effort, and you could have been here too, but you just didn't, you just didn't bootstrap properly. And so, it's fine if I live in excess and don't better the lives of others, because at the end of the day, well, they could have been here if they weren't so lazy. And both of those are pretty dangerous approaches to viewing, kind of the outcomes we see in our world. And obviously both have pretty deleterious effects.